everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and I am a little bit out of breath. I went up the stairs and just out of breath. So that's just a fun pregnancy symptom. I am 11 weeks pregnant, and so this is my 11-week pregnancy update. Later on in the week, I do have my genetic scan and they will do the genetic blood testing, and I will talk about how that appointment goes in my week 12 update next week. It comes at the end of the week, so I'm not going to film after that, and I won't know the results from the genetic test for 1 to 2 weeks. They told me 1 week, but everybody who I talked to who got the same genetic test says it takes usually about 2 weeks. So I'm expecting it to take closer to the 2 week. We'll find out if there are any chromosomal abnormalities with that test, but we will also be able to find out the gender. We found out at 18 weeks with Olivia, and so this is way earlier. We'll find out about 13 weeks now, so that'll be awesome. I do have a gender reveal planned in my head, so I will film that as soon as we know. I'm really excited to find out what the baby is. It doesn't really matter because I think either way is fine, and I go back and forth still. Like every day I'm like, oh, I really want a girl, but oh, I really want a boy. There's one thing that I said I have to backtrack on a little bit. I said I wouldn't be disappointed no matter which gender the baby is, but I will be disappointed either way because I will see that we're not getting the other one. So if we have a girl, I'll be really happy that we have a girl because then we'll have 2 little princesses and it'll be wonderful. But I'll also kind of be sad and disappointed that we don't get the chance to have a boy. Then the opposite of that as well. If we have a boy, I'll be so excited that we have one of each and it'll be great and wonderful, but I'll also be sad that Olivia won't get a sister. So I will have a little bit of gender disappointment either way just because of the one we're not gonna get. Whichever one we get is gonna be great, but it also closes the door to get the possibility of the other one. So that's what I mean by disappointment this time. I don't think I'll be disappointed. Like if we have a girl, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I really wanted a boy. And if we have a boy, I won't be like, oh, I really wanted a girl. Either way is totally fine, and I could see it happening either way. I really had a feeling that it was gonna be a boy for a long time, and now I just don't have that feeling. I haven't been having those same dreams, and I really just have no idea. I have no inkling for which one it's gonna be. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the questions. I do have to go pick Livy up in like 20 minutes, so I've got to bust through this list. So we are in week 11 and baby is the size of a lime, which is funny because lime is one of those things I've been craving. I've been loving sour things. The only new symptom I'm having is I'm getting those round ligament pains or those stretching pains deep down where my uterus is starting to stretch out. I've been starting to get those pains. I've had a few instances of just starting to have those cramps kind of out of nowhere, but I've actually had more of them just if I turn and move and twist a certain way, I'll get those pains. I'm like, oh, I'm stretching something out, and it does kind of stop you for a second. It's definitely something I remember from last time, so I don't think they started this early last time, but everything moves faster the second time around. Pretty much everything I talked about last week is still lingering from last week. I've had way bad heartburn just pretty much all the time, just sitting up no matter what I'm doing. I'm having heartburn, so I'm taking Zantac as needed when it gets really bad. I've still been throwing up most days, but I had 2 days that went really well, and I hardly had any nausea those days, and they were just magical days. I feel like I finally got some progress done in this house. We still have lots of stuff to organize and unpack, and I haven't done anything so far. Johnny's been taking care of pretty much everything as far as unpacking goes, but for a day I really made a bunch of progress and got things done. Finally got all of Olivia's clothes hung up. They've been in piles. Basically, like the only thing I'm doing is keeping up with the very basic cleaning, keeping up with cooking, and also the laundry. I just do a couple of loads of laundry a week, and that's pretty much like all I've been doing. I've been just living on the couch, and otherwise, I just can't do a whole lot. I can't be up moving a whole lot. If I feel good enough, we take walks, and that's pretty much it. We just take a little walk around the neighborhood. But it was so nice to have 2 really solid good days. I felt almost completely normal those days, which was awesome. As far as cravings, again this week, I'm just really, for the most part, just sick of food. I'm sick of eating around the clock, and I definitely notice if I go past 2 hours, if I hit that like 2.5 hour mark, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm throwing up, and it's just miserable. So I've really had to still eat around the clock, and I'm just so sick of everything. The only things that I consider cravings are the things that even sound remotely good at this point, which are asparagus. I've just really liked asparagus, corn on the cob. I also really like cheesecake. Johnny went and picked up a slice for me at Cheesecake Factory, and it was amazing. And my most recent craving was for cantaloupe. We went and got avocados and a couple of other things at the grocery store, and we picked up a cantaloupe, and I've been snacking on that, and it's been really good. But pretty much everything else just doesn't sound good, and I'm sick of eating. And most things just sound terrible. So as far as aversions go, everything, but especially like Johnny brushing his teeth with his mint toothpaste, I can't even be in the same room. It's just too terrible for me. Pretty much it as far as like super hardcore aversions. Just mint is disgusting. Most smells are disgusting. As far as weight, I'm back up 1 pound, and I've been like gaining this pound and losing the same pound just over and over again. So I'm up 1 pound again this week. That's 4 pounds overall. No new discoveries, but I thought it was really funny. I watched Olivia's week 11 update video, and that week I mentioned I was craving cantaloupe too, which was funny because I got a cantaloupe this week and I've been loving it. I was actually really surprised in the week 11 update. I had a bunch of migraines that week, which was similar to, I think, my week 9 this time. I just had a week that I had a couple of bad migraines. I kept thinking that I had migraines just really early on in Olivia's pregnancy. So I was really surprised to see in the week 11 update, I had a bunch of migraines, and I said in the video, my morning sickness had worn off and I wasn't snacking as much. And so I think I was going too long between eating. That can definitely trigger migraines. If I ordinarily would go too long without eating, I could definitely get a migraine. So I'm always really careful to, eat my 3 meals a day and making sure that I'm not getting too hungry, because that will definitely trigger migraines. So in that week 11 update, it seemed to be related to that, just being related to not snacking all the time and going too long between meals. And I'm definitely not having that problem now. I can't go too long without eating now because I get super duper nauseous. But now after watching that video, I'll be very careful moving forward once the nausea really wears off. Definitely don't want to trigger any in the future. So the best thing this week were those 2 days where I felt so normal. I felt really good. I was able to do a lot of unpacking and organizing. I'm kind of kicking myself for not going to IKEA one of those days, but I thought, maybe I'm just having a good couple of hours. I didn't really think it was gonna last all day, and I really wanted to get stuff done around here, but I should have gone to IKEA when I had that moment. We worked a lot in here over the weekend, so I've got boxes organized with her toys a little bit better. We just need to get the shelving. And the worst thing is still throwing up. Most days I'm still throwing up. I'm still having those big waves of nausea, and it's just miserable. And I'm really ready for that to be over. I'm ready for not having to eat every hour and a half to 2 hours, and having to force yourself to eat while nauseous. It's just not fun. It's just really bizarre feeling, because usually, the last thing you want to do is eat when you're nauseous, but I get more nauseous if I don't eat. So I have to force myself to eat, and I'm so sick of having to do that just around the clock. And on the agenda this week, we're gonna have a play date with our friends. We have been skipping out on play dates recently because I've just been too miserable and sick, and it seemed like we planned a couple of weeks back and had to skip out on them. I hate making plans and not being able to follow through with them. I hate being flaky, and that's just kind of the nature of what's going on right now. Our friends are totally understanding. They all have kids too. It's little preschool kids that are in Livy's class. So the moms totally understand, but I still hate being the one that's like, oh, we can't today. Oh, we can't today. So we planned a play date. We're gonna make it this time. That's pretty much the main thing on my agenda, aside from my appointment that's later in the week. I'm really excited because this is a scan. I'll get to see the little baby, and it'll look more like a baby this time versus at the 6-week or 7-week scan. It just looks like a little blob. Now it'll actually look more like a baby, and I'm very excited to see our little girl or guy, and super excited to find out the gender in a little while. That covers everything on my list. It's supposed to be, gosh, maybe in the 90s today. It's actually only supposed to be 85 today, so not too bad, but I'm still wearing my shorts because I live in these now when it's nice and warm. So let's see, push my chair back. I got my maternity shorts. These ones are ones that go under your belly, so it's just got these like stretchy parts on them, and they're all really, the whole thing is basically really stretchy, so it's nice for that. I'll show you guys my belly. And I don't know that it's any bigger, but it's starting to feel very firm, even like all the way up. So like really firm down here. All of this feels really firm in there. There's like a layer of pudge over it. But before it was like a bowl full of jelly, and now it's starting to firm up in there. So belly shot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.